Hi, I'm Katrina, your Pilates teacher at KM Pilates. Welcome to Get Started with Pilates, your 31-day journey towards a daily Pilates practice. Today is day 16, so let's begin. Today we will work in supine again, so come onto your back, have your feet hip width and parallel, your knees hip width, have a small cushion under your head for a bit of support, and then we come into our pelvic tilts. So you want to breathe in to prepare, breathe out to gently imprint, breathe in to arch away. Here, remember to observe your rib-hip connection. Notice how your pelvic tilts affect that distance between the ribs and the hips. And breathe out to imprint and in to arch away. And just see how your lower back is feeling today, your lumbar spine. Good. One more of those. And then find your neutral spine and pelvis. Relax the arms by your sides for your arm circles. Breathe in, reach back. Breathe out, circle around. Breathe in, keep the ribs in. That can be quite tricky, so breathing in and keeping the ribs in seems a little bit contradicting itself. But what I mean here is just we don't want to allow the ribs to poke up towards the ceiling, letting the back arch. So if we just tuck the ribs in a bit, we keep our neutral spine and pelvis. That's what we're trying to do here. One more this way around. And then go the other way around. Breathe in. Just hover above the floor for these. And remember, if going this way around is a bit too much for your shoulders, that's fine, continue with the other circles if those felt better. But if you are doing these, just notice how they feel quite different. One more of those. Good. And then relax, we'll come into our 100. You know this one by now. So you can keep the feet on the floor if you want to. You can come into tabletop if that was okay last time, or you might want to give it a go today. Just a few reminders here, because when I count, I can't really talk you through the exercise, so just a few things first, where you can always support the head at any time. Yeah, pulse the other arm. So I sometimes just demonstrate that as a reminder. Yeah, so you don't have to necessarily copy that. So just do, if you can stay here, that's fine. But if you feel the neck needs a bit of support, at any time you can come into that position. Just remember to swap the arms over at some point. Yeah. Just make sure to breathe throughout the exercise. So you always want to breathe in for a few, so you pulse a few, and breathe out for a few. It tends to be around about 5 breaths. 5 in and then 5 out. But then don't be worried too much about that working out exactly like that. Just try to breathe deeply into your rib cage, keeping the navel drawn in that little bit for support. Yeah. So with that, so either keep the feet on the floor or lift one knee up and then the other for your tabletop. Breathe in to prepare. Breathe out to float up. And pulse. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 2, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 3, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 4, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 5, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 6, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 7, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 8, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 9, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and 10, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 100. Lower the head down, relax the head from side to side. Place one foot down and then the other. Well done, excellent. We'll come into a spine curl, so rolling up into bridge. Take the cushion away from under your head, unless that is a lot more comfortable for you, but most of us, we would take the cushion away. And then bring the feet a bit closer towards the hips, keep them hip width, but just a bit closer though, so that as we roll up, the feet are under the knees for a bit more support. And then breathe in to prepare. Breathe out, gently imprint, and imprint the feet into the floor. Keep the knees hip width pointing forwards. Find your neutral with hip connection, so you're just on your shoulder blades. Yeah, remember, we're not coming onto the shoulders, we're just coming onto the shoulder blades in Pilates. And then breathe in here. And breathe out, reverse the movement, gently imprint where possible, and then release. Breathe in to prepare. Breathe out to imprint. Breathe into the ribs. Breathe out to roll back down. Yeah. Just a few of these. So ideally your nose is pointing up to the ceiling. But if you need to have the head to the side to have a look what's happening, that's fine. But ideally, your nose points up, so your neck is in neutral. One more of these. And then we stay up. So we will go into those heel lifts again. We've done those before. And I'll also offer a progression from there if those feel okay and you're up for a challenge. So remember, you want to keep your pelvis as still as possible. Push one foot down to allow the other leg to move. So you push one foot down and lift the other heel. And then place that heel back down, push that foot down, and then lift the other heel. Always alternating. Yeah. But that concept of pushing one foot down is really, really important for the progression we're going to go into in a moment. And if the progression doesn't feel quite so good today, you don't need to do that. You can stick with these. And you can always roll back down if you need to. Yeah? So, the progression would be to peel the whole foot off the floor. So you push one foot down, and then lift the heel and the toes. And then place the foot back down, and go on the other side. Yeah, teeny tiny knee floats. Yeah. And try to really focus on moving quite evenly. So you float up and float back down. Sometimes, especially if this is challenging, we tend to sort of lift and then just come back to the floor. Not really Pilates. We sort of try to work with the breath. Remember that ebb and flow. So breathe out and in. We try to find that same footprint each time. You will notice here again the feet will want to come into the middle, creating that tripod, much easier to balance. We try to keep the feet finding that same footprint. One more of these. Beautiful. Then if you want to, breathe in, reach the arms back. Roll back down bit by bit. And then extend the legs as well. Have a good long stretch. Good. Fabulous. We'll come into our toe taps. We've done those before, quite a few times now. So again, find your neutral spine and pelvis. And then we come into tabletop. And you can have your arms by your sides or on your rib-hip connection to really feel what's going on with your centering here. Breathe into your ribs. Breathe out with the navel in. Breathe into your ribs. Breathe out to lower. Breathe in to return. Breathe out to lower. So with the centering, that sort of engagement of your intrinsic abdominals, yeah, where we draw the navel in gently and just as much as we need to. Yeah. So a little bit more when the leg goes down, and then a little less as the leg comes back. And all we're concerned is keeping the pelvis still, so we're not allowing the back to arch. Yeah. So it's not technically about the leg. That is just challenging our neutral setup of our neutral spine and pelvis. Yeah. Breathe out. And in. And if you're sure that that is all happening, you can have your arms by your sides. So in most Pilates classes, you will find having the arms just resting on the floor, which is good. I just like to have that feedback because sometimes we're not too sure what's happening and we might not notice that the belly is pushing out to create that stability, which does happen if we are not really focusing on using those muscles instead. Yeah. So last few of these, been going for a while. Remember to stop and rest whenever you need to. And then hug the knees in. Have a lower back stretch, stay here, walk from side to side, do circles, whatever feels good. And then we come into a single leg stretch here. So you can come right back into tabletop from here if you want to. We come into a curl up, chin to chest, whips the hips, navel to spine. So draw the navel in that just a little bit. Hold on to one leg or support the head if the neck muscles need a bit more support. Extend one leg away. Breathe in to prepare. Without a swap. Take your time. So if you place your hands onto your shin, it's just a really light placement rather than a hooking in. We're not really catching, it's not a single knee catch, it's a single leg stretch. Yeah. And as I said, if the neck needs a bit of support, feel free to do this. Yeah. If your hip is clicking, keep the leg a bit higher, switch the glutes on a bit more, and really stretch that leg away to make a bit more space in that joint. One more. Beautiful, and then relax down, have a rest. Fabulous. From there, place one foot down, and then the other. We come into our belly breathing, so find a really comfy position for that. Extend the legs out, go into your inner thigh stretch, or just stay here, whatever feels good. And then have your hands on your belly. So you have one hand on your belly button, one hand just above that. You can also, actually, maybe grab your cushion again if that feels better. Yeah, make it so really comfy so you can really relax and focus on your breath. So here you want to breathe into the belly. And breathe out, let the belly drop. Breathe into the belly. Breathe out, let the belly drop. And just continue with these in your own time. Close your eyes if you want to. Try to make the breath bigger and slower each time. And maybe feel what's in contact with the floor. So maybe the feet and maybe the back of the pelvis. Maybe the shoulder blades or the elbows, back of the head. One more breath. Good. We then go into our rib cage breathing. So here you draw the navel in just a little bit, like 2%, teeny tiny connection. Yeah, keeping the hand still, that's on your belly button, and then feel your rib cage open and close as you breathe in and out. So you breathe into the ribs and out. So you try to keep the belly still. If that's not quite happening, don't worry about it, but that's the idea. And you've been doing a few exercises using this sort of breath before. Yeah, the 100, for example. And this is just a bit more focused, just on the breath. So you really feel the ribcage open and close as you breathe in and out. Maybe focus on breathing into your back or into your shoulder blades. That sometimes helps us direct the breath into that space. One more of these. Good. And then take a nice deep breath in. And breathe out. And breathe in.